Sat Sri Akal, everyone. My name is Tania Kaur,
I'm Manpreet Singh.
and today we wanted to take a trip down memory lane and talk about some of the lines or poems we sent each other while we were dating. It's going to be a vulnerable podcast for us. It might be a little cringeworthy for us too, but hopefully other people might get some laughs out of this.
Yeah, a couple of my friends called me. They're like, hey, you said about Rumi lines, you said Punjabi lines, but you don't say any of the lines really. So this podcast, let's say those
We're going to
lines.
dish out the lines.
Yeah. So this is for Punjabi poetry lovers, Punjabi lovers in general, people that love good lyrics. This podcast is for you, for sure.
Okay.
Hopefully we deliver.
So the first one that comes to mind was when you commented on a Facebook picture of mine.
Right.
And it was
So let me go and share my technique on courting here, and hopefully this could be some lessons for people out there or people trying to, get a girl, get a boy, or whatever. But my technique was, so we became Facebook friends. If you haven't seen that podcast, we tell you how, we got to know each other. But basically, we became Facebook friends, and I started seeing your pictures, and they were really nice. So I was like, let me comment on them. So, and this is like a technique, but this is just inherently me too. But now I look back at it, it could be like a technique, I guess, if you use it that way. I wanted to say things to you, but I didn't want to say it like everybody else says it. So I didn't want to be like, oh, you look so pretty. Oh, you're looking really good. Oh, you look fire.
What's
or whatever.
Up hot stuff.
Yeah. Things like that. So I was like, okay, what could I say that's totally different that you probably never heard of before, and say it in like a nice. See, the goal was to have, and maybe you don't even know this actually, but the goal was to have you be curious and be like, whoa, first of all, what does this mean? I can't believe like this is such an awesome line, and I don't even know what it means. No one ever said that to me. To keep you on your toes, to keep it a little mysterious yet curious. Like, am I saying this because I like you, or I'm just saying this because I say this on everyone's picture?
Right.
So that was the technique I would say.
So you
but anyways,
want to say it, but you want to not say it at the same time.
Exactly.
So the line was, "Gujji rahe nahir hazar vichon." Right? Did I say that right?
Yes. Yeah. So you had a real nice photo up on Facebook, and you had a lot of comments on there. A lot of comments.
Yeah.
And it was a great photo. Still one of my favorite photos till this day. But yeah, so the line was Gujji rahe nahir hazar vichon. Now that's from Varishah's epic poem Heed, which means that your beauty cannot be hidden. So even out of 1,000 people, we cannot hide Heed, because you're so beautiful that you will be noticed.
You'll stand out.
You will stand out. Yeah. So I wrote that line. Yeah. And what did you think?
Well, first of all, I'm like, all right, I got to look this up because I got to be sure about what this means, because I think I know what it means, but I need to be sure here. And then once I obviously figured it out, because Gujire is a little, you don't hear those words too often.
True.
So once I figured that out, then I was like, wow, this is different. It's very, it was romantic, but also it was, mysterious a little. It made me curious, just like you said. And it was just a very poetic way of saying something like that.
Yeah, like you look really good.
Yeah.
In just a poetic way, yeah.
Yeah. So that definitely caught my attention.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the first one that comes to mind, like my first kind of interaction with you, and how I kind of got to know you, and how you kind of communicated with me with these like poetic lines that caught my attention. So
right, yeah. No, it was good times.
I mean, any girl, if you really like a guy, if you really like a girl and someone says something like that to you, it makes you feel like, oh wow, like he really sees me. Or like in a
Mm,
room full of people, this person only sees you.
mm.
That's powerful,
It's powerful.
right?
Well, Vadisha is pretty
Yeah.
famous. I mean,
Yeah.
I implore every Punjabi person to read it. It's very
Yeah.
romantic. It blows Shakespeare out of the water.
Mm.
But I think, yeah, I think, so many lines from there, so many lines from
Mhm.
there that just could speak to everybody. Yeah, but yeah, yeah. I'm glad. I'm glad that caught your attention.
It
I'm
did.
glad. I
And it
know.
was all history from there.
What else? I mean, so then I did comment on a couple of other pictures and said these lines, but then we started
Mhm.
talking,
Yeah.
right? We got to know each other. We started
Yeah.
talking, and then
Anyway, what's something that you really liked that maybe I might have said to you or you heard?
I mean, you said a lot of stuff, and a lot of lines, but I really like the way you said the Kamli stuff. I thought that was really good. Nime Kamli Hogi,
Mm,
that's another Ranjahid thing.
that was a
And
poem,
so,
I
yeah,
think.
yeah. So when you say those lines and then the Bulisha lines, Mere
Mm,
jogi, mero jogi, un hor kise vi na jogi, ni main Kamli yaar thi. So those are good because
mm,
I've listened to Kamli since I was like, uh, middle school
mhm.
onward. So I've been listening to that song. So
From middle school onward. So
I've been listening to
since you were
Bulisha,
how old?
Varisha, Gurdas, huh?
Since you were how old? How old are we
Probably
in
like
middle school?
12.
So from 12, 13 years
Yeah.
onwards, you were listening to
Fateh Ali Khan,
Varisha.
Gurdas, Varis. Yeah, because they would sing their, Fateh Ali Khan for sure, Baba Bulisha, but then
Mm.
all these Punjabi singers would sing Heed.
These
So
are
yeah,
hard to understand sometimes.
very hard to
So
understand. I would
how does
ask,
a 12-year-old know what this
I
means?
asked my parents. I would ask my
Uh,
parents what these words mean. I mean, luckily I knew half of it already,
yeah.
but the hard words or the new words, I would just ask my parents. I would ask anybody, my uncles, my chachas, tayas, fufers, anyone that could get my hands on that could explain something to me. I would just ask them, my cousins.
They're probably like, "Eh,
So
मुंडा पता नहीं खेलना घੱਟ है पोएट्री ज़्यादा पढ़दा huh?"
right. But
Okay,
yeah,
that's
so that
pretty
was
cool.
good. That was good. Yeah. Yeah.
Because not a lot of 12, 13-year-olds I know
Right.
would be reading things like that.
Yeah, I know. I know. I grew up differently. I grew up
Mhm.
differently. I still had my hip hop, but I really liked, you know, the
Yeah.
Punjabi. Uh, I really liked that the lyrics, the Punjabi lyrics, the Punjabi old poetry. It just
Mhm.
it does something to people. It like
It
moves
does.
people. Uh, they say a lot of things in very little words,
Mhm.
and even Rumi. Like I know we mentioned Rumi, but my cousin, he gave me a book, The Essential Rumi. My cousin Gurdat, he gave it to me when I was in middle school or ninth grade or something, and I still
Mhm.
have it. He wrote like a thing on it. I still have it, and I read that book, and I was like, "Holy cow, this thing is powerful."
Yeah.
Like, forget pickup lines and all that, but just like the poetry it has, and the feelings, and the thought, the
Yeah.
Sufi thought, and how that relates to Sikhi thought. I mean,
Mhm.
it's really powerful stuff. And then you start thinking of things in a different way. You start thinking
Mhm.
of the world in a different way,
Yeah.
relationships, and it's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, 100%. I mean, for someone that never heard these poems or these lines or this way of thinking before, once you start reading it, then it really does change your perspective and how you look at things and how you look at the world, how you understand love and
Mm.
relationships. What does it mean to um, be in a relationship with someone and to just love them for who they are? Like all those things, he kind of touches on Rumi.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely one of the most popular ones.
He's the most popular Sufi
Yeah,
poet there
Sufi
is.
poet. Yeah,
Most of it's on God,
right.
but his the way he explains it is in like a
Yeah,
relationship with male and
and there's just
female,
a
and
lot of depth
yeah,
to his lines
very.
and words and
And there's a lot
poems.
of translations.
Mhm.
So some translations of the same, use Persian. So some
Mhm.
translations are different, how people translate them, but the essence is there.
Yeah.
Either translation you read, I think. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so I had some saved. I had to go
Yeah. I see
back
you have an
to
iPad.
have I had to save them and to put them in my repertoire so I could look back on them. So I don't know if this is Rumi, but you sent me one that said, "Sade nain dil te dimag ਕੱਢ ਲੈ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਘਰ ਦੀ ਸ਼ਰਾਬ ਕੱਢ ਲੈ ਸੌਦਾ ਜਿੱਥੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਮੁੱਕਦਾ ਮੁਕਾ ਦੇ ਸੋਹਣੀਏ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬਸ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਆਪਣਾ ਬਣਾ ਲੈ ਸੋਹਣੀਏ."
Yeah.
I still read that. I'm
That's
like, oh my God.
that is Gurdas
It's
man.
just that's Gurdas.
That's
Okay.
Gurdas man.
That's
Yeah.
that's what I
Yeah.
thought.
Sanu ek wari apna bana la sohniya. ਭਾਵੇਂ ਸੂਈ ਵਾਲੇ ਨੱਕੇ ਚੋਂ ਨਗਾਲਾ ਸੋਹਣਿਆ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ
Mm.
ਵਾਰੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਬਣਾ ਲਾ ਸੋਹਣਿਆ. Yeah, yeah, that was a Gurdas line. Yeah. I'm glad you liked it because even when when I've heard these songs many times, but then when
Mm.
you fall in love and stuff and you start using these lines, and everyone does it, everyone that's like love, and especially that new love, that new age, like the first month, second month, yeah, that
Infatuation.
infatuation
Yeah.
is there. So you say all these like corny things to each other and all these things, which is great, which everyone
Oh,
does it.
trust me, we said a lot of corny
We
things to each
did.
other. Just I'm not about to read them all, but
We did, but this was definitely, yeah, that was, I'm glad you liked that line. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, and that was just again, it just goes back to, making it makes you feel like in a room full of people or, in a world full of all these people, you're the one that is desired.
yeah.
That
Right.
you're the one that, you know, there's this kitsch for. This
Yeah.
person wants you, to this extent and wants to be with you. And just Punjabi can sometimes be a little bit, harsh sounding.
I
so
know.
so ਜਦੋਂ you see these lines and ਜਦੋਂ ਕੋਈ ਏਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਕੁਝ ਕੋਈ ਬੋਲਦਾ, then it just sounds so sweet and romantic, and powerful. So Punjabi can be beautiful. I think sometimes now we make fun of Punjabi. A lot of times in the movies, Punjabi is made fun of because it could be so harsh
Yeah.
sounding and so like, especially the Pindu Punjabi. but there is a space for like these beautiful words, Persian words that maybe we don't use that often now, that back in the day, they were powerful.
Right. Right.
Even now, if you understand them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like Gurdas and Rumi and Sartaj too. You know,
Right.
I think they
Right.
kind of did a great job of bringing back these words and this way of speaking and
They did.
talking and
They did.
thinking.
They
So
did. Sartaj for sure, because he also
yeah.
has that Sufi little hints of Sufism in his
Mm,
music, so it's good.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You had one where you told me, and I've heard this before, but just
Oh
you
boy.
sending it to me was like, whoa, shoot. Because if
Yeah.
when you send me like Gurdas lines, I felt even more special. Like, oh my God, she listened to a song and she
Yeah, it
like
was
knows
hard
this.
work. I had to really read up and do my research. It wasn't easy. So if I sent it to you, I put some work into that. But go on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, you sent me a line saying "Rab vi sona, jag vi sona,
Mm,
sona chand bithera, par sare sone ek paase, mere yaar to sona keda." And
mm.
I was like, "Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you."
It's true. I
But
still
that was
believe
so
that.
great. That was good. When I heard it,
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh man, this is nice.
Yeah, it's
This is
such a
nice.
simple
It's
few
nice.
lines,
It is. It
but
is.
it's very sweet. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, good. I'm
very
glad.
sweet.
I'm glad that ਇੱਕ ਦੋ ਲਾਈਨਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਭੇਜੀਆਂ ਪਸੰਦ ਆਈਆਂ ਤੈਨੂੰ. Um, so yeah, here's another one that I saved. Again, I don't know who wrote it, who the original author was, but maybe you might know. Um, खुदा का नूर तुझ में हूबहू है खुदा पिन्हा मगर तू रूबरू है तेरी अज़मत का अंदाज़ा हो किसको खुदा है और खुदा के बाद तू है. So I
Mm.
had to read the translation on this one.
Yeah, read the translation.
So it says, the light of God is reflected in you. God is hidden, but present are you. Who can imagine your greatness when there is God and thereafter you?
Mm. Damn.
So,
I don't
yeah,
know who wrote that.
I don't know.
It's
But you
from a
sent it.
Qawwali. I sent that?
You sent that. It's
Oh, wow.
timestamped, so you were the one that sent it.
It's probably I heard it from a Qawwali then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had to be for some Qawwali, Fateh Ali Khan or
Yeah.
Ghulam Ali, something. I don't know. But that's
Yeah.
wow.
I feel
Okay.
like it was just dripping with love, and romanticism and just devotion because it's talking about God,
Right.
and when you talk about God, you're usually talking about love for God and devotion and sacrifice. But then it says
Yeah.
after God is it's you. I mean,
Right.
it's when you
Right.
put it that way, it's simple and straightforward. But when you read the lines, it's those words are beautiful.
Read something you wrote to me.
I wrote to you. Well, I sent you that one, the Rabbi Sona,
Yeah,
Jagri
yeah, yeah.
Sona. You took my line.
Yeah. But
Um,
read something you sent to me that's probably corny now, but maybe, people could like you'll be like, well, that's still nice.
um, hmm. So I found. Oh, this is one that I probably sent you a poem that I probably found. Um, खुशबू तेरी यारी दी, खुशबू तेरी यारी दी, सानू महका ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਤੇਰੀ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬਹਿਕਾ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਸਾਹ ਤਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਦੇਰ ਲਗਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਆਉਣ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਰ ਸਾਹ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਤੇਰੀ ਯਾਦ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ
Ah, that's good.
Oh,
That's
that's
good,
pretty
man.
good. Wow,
That's pretty good.
that is pretty good.
That is pretty good. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. That's a nice one.
Again, I don't know who wrote it,
I don't know who wrote it either,
but
that's great.
Punjabi can be beautiful and romantic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it could be. It could, and it is. It is. I think it's one of the most romantic languages in the
Yeah.
world. Yeah, I'm biased. I'm Punjabi, but
Just a little.
I think it is. Well, when you listen to like really good stuff, really good poetry back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's just uh, there's no comparison. You got to understand. I really feel people have to understand Punjabi to really
Mm-hmm.
get it too. Reading
Yeah.
the English translations, it doesn't hit
Yeah.
you the same. The
Even when you do
Punjabi,
know Punjabi, ਤਾਂ
yeah,
ਵੀ ਥੋੜਾ ਸੋਚ ਕੇ
right,
ਪੜਨਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਕਿ what's the meaning here, but
yeah,
yeah, you have
yeah,
to understand Punjabi somewhat.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it was good lines. It was good lines. Oh
We did
man,
good. We did good.
yeah, we did do good. I remember I just so another line I sent you. Now it just came to me while we're
Mm.
talking. Another line I sent you because I'm sure you get like you have beautiful eyes, so I'm sure you get comments on your eyes and stuff, right? So
Sometimes.
I I uh, I wrote you a line on text. I texted you this. Uh, and this is from a famous song, but uh,
Oh, I know which one, I think.
it is. Oh yeah, the line is. It was a good last line in the song collaborations,
Mm-hmm.
and it was Loki ਪੁਲੀਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਹੱਸਦੇ ਨੇ ਪਰ ਤੂੰ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਚੋਂ ਹੱਸਦੀ ਹੈ.
Mm.
Yeah, I remember I
Yes.
texted it to you and you were like, whoa. I was like, oh, wow, that's
And
cool.
that's like one of the best collaborations ever.
It is.
It's
It
a
is.
great song.
It is. Gurdasman, Sukhshinder Shinda,
Yeah.
and Abrala Al Haq.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Never
But
gonna happen again. That song was
no,
just too good.
it was just so epic.
Yeah.
Like three great singers coming together, and then they
Yeah.
all had great lines.
Right.
And
Right.
it's a great dance song
Right.
on top of that.
Right.
And it had meaning. The
Yeah.
words had meaning. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, all the lyrics were off the hook on
But
that.
yeah, I
On that
remember
song.
when you sent me that.
Yeah, yeah.
So wait, so the line was
Everybody smiles, laughs from their lips,
mm-hmm.
but you do it with your eyes.
With your eyes. Yeah. Yeah. That shit is powerful.
It is. It is.
Yeah,
It's great.
yeah,
It's
it
great.
is.
So yeah, I remember sending you that. So that's a good line for
Yeah.
anyone else wants to use.
Yeah.
Because I will bet you no girl hears this stuff right now. I bet you if a guy, I'm just talking from a guy's point of view. I don't know. I have cousins. I have girl cousins, and I ask them, and I have friends, and uh, they they've never heard this stuff before from guys. It's the same old, same old. So hopefully, if some young people are listening to this, they could use some of these or go and listen to Punjabi music.
Hopefully it'll inspire some people to read Rumi and
yeah, Read Rumi. Listen
Even if
to
you send it to your husband, like if you're married or you send
that's
it to your
true.
wife, it's all
That's
good.
true.
It still holds meaning and it's powerful and
Right.
it's so sweet and romantic.
It is.
It
It
is.
is. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, when you do have those feelings towards somebody and you read these lines, then I think you can really connect with it. It kind of,
Right.
to some extent, you understand what they're talking about, and it's
Oh, for sure. For sure.
yeah, that's an amazing feeling. So yeah,
Yeah.
Punjabi poetry is, you definitely showed me how beautiful it could be.
Yeah. And it should.
Sufi, Rumi,
I hope like girls are getting this from guys. I really do.
yeah,
If a guy starts doing this stuff or saying these things to you and starts talking to you like this and sending you
yeah,
lines that you never heard before, I think he's a keeper. Especially if the lines are deep. Tells you a lot about
yeah,
their character
it does.
and soul and like where their head is, I
Hmm.
guess. You know, and I'm not saying I'm perfect or anything. I'm just saying like it just tells
No,
you
we
like,
know.
okay, okay, they're very Punjabi at least in these
Yeah,
types of things. I mean, not just Bhangra, you know,
right.
which everybody like tries to do now and
Yeah, I
thinks
think
like
all
that's the
the
coolest thing, which it is.
mainstream
But
Punjabi songs kind of, sometimes we get carried away with
all
all the
right,
mainstream Ghani and the lines, and these kind of get pushed to the sidelines because they're not catchy,
yes,
but
yeah,
they're still very meaningful,
yeah,
and powerful.
yeah.
So yeah,
There's like Rumi lines too. Like the, I think you have it. Do you have it or we saw it? Um, I sent you this line, but also like, you dance inside my chest where no one sees you, but sometimes I do.
yeah,
I do,
yes,
and that sight becomes this art.
you still remember it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've
No,
read it
you
like a
can't go wrong
million
with
times.
Rumi. I feel like anytime I would like look him up or read some poetry from him, it was always like you're in awe.
Yeah,
You can't go wrong with Rumi.
and I think
So,
it's a very big sick connection too with Rumi
mm,
because like you dance inside my chest where no one sees you, and sometimes I do, and that sight becomes this art. Now, that's a great line to send to someone you love,
hmm,
but it is also like sick oriented because if you just replace someone you love, if you just replace it with Ikwankar, divine force, Vaigru, it's the same thing.
mm,
So Rumi, yes, we use it as romantic lines,
yeah,
but I think if there's like a sick connection with Rumi, I think there is with this, with all his poetry, because it's really about Ikonkar and Vaigru and God. And if you replace that with whatever metaphor he's using as like current modern day or current day relationships between a man and a woman,
mm,
you will see the similarities with Saki and
yeah,
Rumi's philosophy a little, which is great. Which even like as a Sikh, it even like it inspires you more because then you realize how universal your religion is,
yes,
how universal the message is, how universal the love is. You realize all that
yeah,
when you see it in different parts of people's and other cultures and their philosophies.
yep,
So it's a big help, and I think I hopefully it helps people in their relationships too.
yeah. No, I think the message was simple, to just love and connect, and unconditional love, and to sacrifice and to devote yourself to the one that you love.
All right.
So it's simple,
Yeah.
but it ain't easy.
Sure.
But definitely, I think at the worldly level, when you find somebody that you feel that way about, it kind of opens up your eyes and your perspective to, what that might feel like. What are they talking about when they talk about God and
Right.
Sikhi, or the Guru's love for Waheguru? What are they talking about? So me, it kind of gives you maybe a little glimpse into that. I think when you read these poems and these Sufi lines,
It
that
does.
we're talking about God.
It
So,
does. It does.
because the feeling is the same, love. The feeling is the same. Love is
It is the
love,
same. And
right?
Fateh Ali Khan actually had a. Now that you're triggering this thought too, Fateh Ali Khan had a song. ਜੇ ਤੂੰ ਰੱਬ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੇ ਰੱਬ ਦੱਸ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਤੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਇਹ ਭੁਲੇਖਾ ਕੱਢ ਦੇ.
Mm,
It's what we're talking
yeah,
about right now. If you're not God, tell me then who is. मेरा
yeah,
ये भुलेखा ਕੱਢ ਦੇ.
mm,
Like, because it's the same thing. And that's the level you want to get to. And
yeah,
that's what poetry does. And when you're in love, and like especially in the beginning when it's an infatuation and you can't be without this person. These things mean even more, like these lines, and
Yeah,
they hit you even harder. And hopefully,
they
it stays
do.
with you.
Yes.
And if you end up with that person, it stays with you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole point. And plus, your religion, Sikhi on top of it,
Yep.
and I'm saying Sikhi the right way. If you actually like read it and understand it, I mean, it's very powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah,
It is.
yeah. Maybe I did send that to you one time, right? Jetu Rab ni terab das kehda,
You may
te mere
have.
phule ka kar de.
You sent a lot. I tried to pick the ones that stood out to me, but you did. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure you did. You sent quite a few. So,
yeah.
um and I expect them to keep coming.
Right, right, right.
But I'd say 13 years in, it still holds true. So it wasn't that these lines were used as just, you know, in the beginning, or it was just used to, you know, make each other think about me or you in a certain way. You didn't just say it to me just because, you wanted to um you wanted me to think of you in a certain way, but I think you actually felt that way, and we still do, but when we look back on it now, it's like, "Oh wow, that was powerful stuff," and it was true.
Yeah, it is true. It is
Because
true.
all these years later, like, those feelings still hold true. Yeah, every now
Yeah,
and then, we got kids in the mix and we got life in the mix,
yeah,
family in the mix, but when it's just us two, and I feel like we look back on our relationship, then these lines definitely, I feel like they do still hold true. So
that's. I'm glad.
they stand the test of time.
I'm glad. No,
Yeah.
they're be here now, and they'll be here when we're gone.
Yeah.
These lines. So yeah,
Yep.
yeah. What else you got? You got any more in the thing?
um
What you said, at least.
oh, you sent this to me too. Don't grieve. Anything you lose comes around in another form.
It was Rumi.
Yeah. Oh, here. This is the one I was talking about. Let yourself be silently drawn by the stronger pull of what you really love.
Uh,
Lovers don't finally meet somewhere, they're in each other all along.
you wrote that? I wrote that.
Well, you sent me, I didn't know any of this stuff before. So
Okay.
so we just kind of wanted to end it with a few Rumi lines that we both really liked, that we read over the years. Um, One of them is, it says, "Let yourself be silently drawn by the stronger pull of what you really love."
Mm,
And then there's one more that I really liked. Um, Lovers don't finally meet somewhere; they're in each other all along.
yeah, I really like that one. I read that a
Yeah.
long time ago, and
So it
yeah,
kind of speaks to, like, destiny, like
it is.
you're destined to be together, even
It is.
though you didn't meet yet,
Yeah,
but your destiny was to be together all along,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Like you're meant for each other. How
You're
people
meant for each
say it.
other. Yeah.
So yeah,
That's
yeah,
like a really poetic way of saying we were meant to be.
yeah. Basically,
So guys out there, if you
basically.
want to say that, that's like the best way to say it.
Yes, yes. Yeah, yeah. I really like that one. That was like an ending of something. That line. It was like a
Mm,
big poem, and then that line was the ending of it.
mhm.
And so yeah, I remember that. Yeah, lovers don't finally meet somewhere; they're in each other all
Yeah.
along. Yeah, so true,
And
so
there's so
true.
many. I mean, I think
Yeah,
Sufi poets are just, there's no depth to it. Once you start reading, you just discover so much.
right.
Um, but yeah, those were two that really always stood out to me and to
Yeah,
to us.
yeah, yeah. No, that was great. It was great. Rumi's great. Sufi poetry, Sufi fakir, sants. They're great. Especially if you love Sikhi, you're gonna love them.
Hmm.
So it's a good thing to learn about and hopefully pass down to your kids. It's
Yeah, any
great.
guys that's using these lines on our kids, I mean, we're gonna be doing a background check and shit, but you might get
Yeah.
some points for that.
Yeah. Definitely get points with me, but there got to be depth involved. A lot of people use it, say it, and they don't know where it's from, what it really means, but they just love saying things. So hopefully it comes with some depth.
Do you want me to look up that last one, the Sultan Bahu?
No, the Sultan Bahu one was good. Sultan Bahu is another great poet, and it's famous. I think Abida Perveen sang it. Some other people sang it too, but Sultan Bahu had some really good stuff. And one of it was, I can't remember the line in Punjabi exactly, but I did send it to you. If my whole body was covered with eyes,
Yes.
I still wouldn't be able to get enough of you. Yeah. Such a good line.
I remember that.
Such a good line. And in Punjabi, it's even better. I'm going to butcher it, so I don't even want to try. But it was good. It was good. Yeah. I mean, these are all great things. These are all like great lines, but these are all great thoughts and emotions to have.
Yes.
So hopefully,
it has to be backed by emotions, definitely.
Yeah.
They're just full of emotions and feelings and love and just dedication. When you really feel like you want to dedicate yourself to someone, like these are the thoughts I think would resonate with you.
Right. It was good. It was good going down memory lane.
Yeah.
And getting these getting these lines out. And there was so much more. There's so much more we said to each other. Corny, cringy, all that stuff. But you can't say everything.
No. Definitely not.
Varish Shah chupaye jag kolon pa mein apne gud khaiye ji. So you want to say a little, but you don't want to put the whole story out there. It's yeah, no, it was fun. It was fun. So let's see. Anything? Let's end with something of Punjabiness this week. I always wanted to see this Punjabi movie called Marida Diva, and it's won a national award and all that stuff. Never got to see it. I saw it like, oh, it's out online, and I saw it, and man, what a powerful film! It is the most Pindu film I've ever seen in my life, and I've seen them all. And it is such a powerful film, very sad film, very emotional film, and such a great film. I can't believe Punjabi cinema made a film like that. I was so happy when I saw it. Yeah, it's so sad because of the story. But I implore every Punjabi out there, if you haven't seen Marida Diva, please check it out.
I have to go watch it.
Raj Babbar's in it. Pankaj Kapoor, Shahid Kapoor's dad, is in it. Yeah, so it's a really, really good movie. I hope everyone checks it out. Anything new in Punjabiness in the past week with you?
I wouldn't say it's new, but just that it's a fairly popular Punjabi song by Rupinder Honda. Yeah. So when we took a recent trip to Atlantic City, we were blasting that song in the car, and the kids,
the Kali
Activa song. The kids went bananas.
Yeah,
they know those two lines, and they do the steps to it. And my 3-year-old, it's so cute, but it's a catchy song. It's good.
It's a great song. I was surprised she knew the lyrics.
Yeah.
The 3-year-old. I was like, Dea knows the lyrics, and she was singing it. Oh man. That was great. That was great. Yeah.
So that was fun to see.
Yeah.
We don't.
And she was just here because the Fasaki Mela happened.
Yes,
in New York. So she was here singing that. Yeah.
So it's a fun song. It's a fun song to dance to, but we don't speak as much Punjabi as we should, with our kids. But kade kade jo Punjabi gaane sunde and they like want to dance and they do the actions and they sing to it. Yeah. It's nice. It's really good. So hopefully we can keep that going.
Yeah.
Music, keep the music going, keep the Punjabi culture, and just have fun and dance, and at least they can connect that way.
Yeah, no, totally. Makes sense. Yeah, I love it. I love seeing that. I can't wait to all the more Punjabi things they do. It's going to be awesome. Yeah. All right, cool. This was fun. Going down memory lane.
Not as cringeworthy as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
But yeah. A little vulnerable.
Yeah, great. All right.
All right.
Later.
See you all.
Bye.